Hello everyone, today I want to present on the presentation Instructional Technology Coaching Model used by instructional technology coaches working with K-12 students and teachers on Maker Education. In today's video, I will talk about the why of conducting this research, the takeaways of this research, our methods used in this research, and our results in this research. So we conduct this research because there is a lack of research and model of coaching in the literature about how to best integrate Maker Education into K-12 schools. Our central question here is whether pre-service and in-service teachers are provided with enough preparation, modeling, targeted professional development, and instructional technology coaching on how to integrate Maker Education into the content areas in K-12 schools. Through our literature review, we find most pre-service teachers find they are not prepared for integrating Maker Education. The width and depth of this preparation are questionable. Also, for our in-service teachers, we did not find a lot of study examining their professional development or learning or on how to coach these teachers to integrate Maker Education. Besides the lack of literature on this topic, we also have a lack of best practices in the field. In practice, K-12 schools still need to collaborate with various stakeholders to strategize, like what methods are effective in promoting and facilitating teachers to integrate Maker Education, and how to best utilize the knowledge and skills of different stakeholders to provide teachers the much needed ongoing support. So one effective best practice we found from literature and our everyday practice is ongoing instructional technology coaching provided by experienced instructional technology coaches. So in today's presentation, we will talk about how we do this work. So the takeaways of this presentation will be a 4-phase instructional coaching model for instructional coaches and other teacher leaders to help teachers incorporate Maker Education in their curriculum. And we also summarize 12 best practices for K-12 teachers if they are thinking about integrating Maker Education into their curriculum. So in this research study, we purposefully sampling our participants. We found 17 experienced instructional technology coaches who work for a service unit as a teacher education preparation program of a Southeastern university in the US. All the 17 instructional technology coaches had extensive teaching experiences in K-12 in different content areas, and they all had a lot of experiences in instructional technology and Maker Education, as well as coaching teachers for integrating instructional technology and Maker Education. We used a case study approach, and the researchers conducted semi-structured individual interviews with all 17 experienced instructional technology coaches. We use after getting the qualitative data from our interviews, we use a qualitative content analysis method to analyze all the interview data. And we use a directed content analysis approach to analyze the data we got from our coaches. Our first part of the result, we summarize a 4-phase instructional technology coaching model. It is cyclical, it's iterative. We have 4 different phases in this model. In the following section, I'm going to talk about each phase in this instructional coaching model. The first phase is intrigue. So all the coaches mentioned that for the teachers to have buy-in in Maker Education, they need to intrigue the teachers about Maker Education in K-12. They need to inform, they need to demonstrate, they need to guide teachers through the process of Maker Education to help them think about and envision how to integrate those in their classrooms. Especially, they need to have real hands-on demonstrations for the teachers to arouse their interest and elicit their buy-ins. The second phase of the model is to identify. So here the coaches uses mostly the backward design instructional model to help teacher identify a place that they want to integrate maker education in. So they will discuss how identify the curriculum goals and objectives. They will determine a time frame for the lesson and activity. They will analyze the teachers and student knowledge and skills. They explain the design thinking and engineering design process to the teacher, and they select tools for content alignment with the teacher together. Basically, the coaches will co-plan with the teacher to create a standard-based making lesson or activity for a few rounds. The next phase will be the practice part. So the coaches mentioned, depending on teachers' personality and their comfort level, they will choose one of the 4 different models to use to work with them. The first one is to model. So for teachers new to maker education and feel unsure about teaching the lesson, the coach will model how to teach this lesson to them. And the second one is to co-teach. So for those teachers who are a bit more confident but still need some support during teaching, they will co-teach the lesson with the teacher. When the teacher are comfortable teaching the maker education lesson, the coaches usually just facilitate teaching and let the teacher teach the lesson. And for those teachers who are familiar, and this is a few rounds after the coaching session, they will let the teacher teach the lesson independently, and they will be served as a supportive person for the lesson. The last phase of the model is to help the teacher reflect. So for this phase, the coaches said they will do a few things. First, they will collect data with the teacher through surveys, observations, interviews, and student artifacts. Then they will coach the teacher and debrief. They will coach the teacher to debrief and reflect with both the teachers and students to identify the successes and failures of the lesson. And the next step, they will think about how to review the lesson for improvement with the teacher together. Last but not the least, the coaches will suggest teaching strategies to increase student learning outcome and set new views and goals for the teacher to work on in the future. And all through this out of the process, the coaches focus especially on pedagogical reasoning because they want the teachers to have a very good handle of the pedagogical strategies and the reasoning behind using different strategies so they can continue to integrate maker education with or without coaching in the future. Again, this process is iterative and ongoing, so the coaches might be going back and forth during the process to work the teacher, and again, they want to ensure the teachers have very good handling of the pedagogical reasoning. In the following section, I will talk about the 12 best practices for teachers suggested by our coaches in our data. So the first one is to start small. Think of the coaches suggest to the teachers to think of an area they want to improve with their teaching and start small from that idea. The second one is alignment. We need to align the maker education lessons with the curriculum goals, with grade level, with all those different criteria we have in K-12 schools. The next one on the list is to be open and flexible, be open-minded, and maker education, we will for sure have some failures. So the teachers should be flexible and open-minded about maker education. The first one is to adopt critical making. All the coaches suggested to create or find problems that have real-world connection, so that will make students believe this is authentic learning and make maker education more meaningful. The fifth one is to cultivate student leaders. With maker education, we will need to utilize different expertise, and our students are the best leaders we could find for maker education. The sixth one is to cultivate student maker mindset. Maker education is a little bit different from our traditional education, so cultivate student maker mindset is definitely needed to ensure the smooth transition to maker education lessons. The seventh one is to empower students. Trust and believe in our students. Be open-minded with our students. Let students have the choice and voice to create, have ownership in their own maker education projects. The eighth one in our list is teachers should shift their mindset from teacher-centered mindset to put students in the center of learning and making. So they need to relinquish some power and give those power to their students. The ninth one is to teach productive failure. There are a lot of failures in maker education. Students should learn how to expect failure and how to handle learning from their failures. The 10th one on the list is teacher collaboration. A lot of great maker education lessons are interdisciplinary in nature, so teachers could collaborate cross-curricular with other teachers on maker education lessons. Last but not the 11th one on the list is to transform existing curricula. So for this one, we can offer more longitudinal, independent learning activities throughout the school year. Offer smaller projects students can do, which are authentic learning, and they will be interested in those. Last but not the least on the list is to think about sustainability and continue to think about how to make the making sustainable, how to continue to offer maker educational lessons in a sustainable way. Thank you everyone for listening to this presentation. I'm glad to present our findings at SITE, and hopefully we will meet face to face next year.